rocking East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast, bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast and stay tuned in each week. But enough of this, let's get it.
In the lab, I'm Coach Rock, Coach Joe. Today we're here with Coach. Introduce yourself, Coach.
Hey, Coach Shelton, Paul Shelton from South Doyle High School.
Yes, sir. Coach, what's going on? Appreciate you, Coach. Appreciate you coming in. Thank
Yes,
sir. You know, we talked to the boys earlier. You know, probably not ideal when you thought y'all would be in the program and sitting at 1-7. But how do you feel, you know, so far, your growth of the team and so far this season?
You know, like, I'm not going to spin it. I mean, losing is awful. Losing sucks. You know what I mean? And, you know, those guys that you interviewed, and, Maddox and Jaedyn, and you feel for those guys, right. You know, because as a coaching staff, you know, you know that you're going to come back, and the young guys are going to come back, and the development's there. The ones that you really hurt for are the seniors, right. And because you know you got one more year playing, and you want to see them win, and so it sucks. Losing sucks, but I will be honest. The first year I had here, we were getting drummed. I'm talking mercy ruled every game, every single game, and it was kind of nothing against the players. It was just new system, new structure, new discipline, new accountability, new everything. It's just, you know, it was kind of circus-like. And this year has been, I mean, most of the games have been one-possession games. We have an opportunity to go win it in the last drive. And I would just, you see that growth on the record, you don't see it. Right. On the score, you see it. On the penalties, you see it. On the yardage, you see it. You see that growth. It just, I hate it for the guys that because the senior class is really special, and the consistency. It's just us not being able to get those wins over the board. We've learned, trying to learn how to win right now. So you know, but there has been growth.
When you came in, did you come like in the summer? Or did you get the little spring before the season?
Yeah, so I don't know. So I came from the University of California, Davis. That's where I coached at previously. I got hired in the middle of February, but my wife and my kids were still living in Sacramento at the time. I was living there, and I kind of flew back and forth probably 6 times over the course of like a month and a half. And so I was kind of like putting things in place. We were able to have spring practice, fully moved here kind of in April-ish. But it was a transition that first year, and so I wouldn't say I had a full off season until that past off season.
Okay.
Are you originally from the Bay Area?
No, I am from East Tennessee.
Okay.
I coached. I went to ETSU. Graduated from ETSU. I coached at Bearden High School for 4 years.
Okay.
And then I got the job out at UC Davis, and my wife and I just moved out to Tennessee. I moved out to California and lived there for 4 years. So yeah.
What would you position coach in college or?
So I started off as a quality control, special teams. Worked that for 2 years, and then Coach Hawkins, our tight ends coach, special teams coordinator, moved to Fresno. Coach Hawkins named me the special teams coordinator, tight ends coach. So I was able to coach tight ends, and I mean actually the new tight end transfer that Tennessee just got, McCown Castles at UT. I coached him. So yeah, it was fun to coach those dudes and be able to coach at that level and recruit a little bit. So.
You know, sometimes it's hard, Coach, coming to a place where you're not real familiar with, and you know, trying to get to know the area. But you said you're originally from East Tennessee. What high school did you go to?
So I went to Cupp County High School.
Oh yeah.
I went to Cupp County, way over in East Tennessee.
Ooh,
you know what I mean? So played in the IMAC. I graduated in 03.
Who'd you play with in Cupp County?
I played, the guy that's most notable that I played with was Carl Bubba White. You know what I mean? Like I said, he's down in Florida right now, coach. He's a couple of years older than me. I played for West Jones. He was my head coach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So you're very familiar with the area. That's good, Coach. That's good. We brought in a coach last year over at Catholic. He wasn't familiar with the area at all, and you can kind of tell that had an effect in our play and how the boys was coached up as well. So it's always good to have a coach that's familiar with the area.
Sure.
Yes,
Was it a difficult decision to leave college to come back to high school, or was it kind of just you want to come back home kind of situation?
You know, coaching college was my dream.
Right.
It was my dream and I coached with some great dudes. I mean, I coached for Dan Hawkins, and man, I learned a lot of football. I learned how to be a better human.
Right.
They were really good humans. They taught me how to be. I was kind of probably a jerk when I was coaching high school on the preview on the front end of it, and those guys really taught me how to develop guys and create better relationships. And as crazy as that sounds, I had my wife and I had our second little girl,
Okay.
So,
and I started missing soccer games on Saturdays. And I was like, you know what, man? My dad never missed my games.
Right.
And I know I'm in my dream job. I know that I'm doing everything that I want to do. I'm learning football. I'm coaching great kids. I'm having a blast. But I'm not going to miss my kids' games. And so just made the decision like, hey, I've achieved my dream. I know I'm a good football coach. I know I've got all these connections and all that stuff. Let's get back and see if I can't impact East Tennessee and Knoxville and the place that I love.
Yes, sir.
And God brought me back here, man.
Yes,
So.
sir. Yes, sir.
Was South Doyle the only job you applied for, or was it like you were kind of looking for something else?
You know, when it happened, there were a few jobs that kind of came together. That was the Bearden cycle, that was Hardin Valley cycle, Hall cycle. I was in there. South Doyle was in there. But it's just kind of serendipitous the way it kind of worked out to where the South Doyle job, Tim Berry and Clark Duncan was heavily involved in the process, and that was the one that just kind of opened everything. It was the one that just everything else, like the doors just kind of shut for whatever reason. And man, it just kind of opened up and it meshed and it worked well. And I told Tim Berry, I interviewed online because I was in California about 4 o'clock in the morning. And I said, hey, if you need to see how serious I am, I'll fly tomorrow. And he called me and he said, can you actually fly? So I flew in 2 days and came across and they gave me the job.
That's awesome.
No doubt. Blessed.
That's awesome. Clark was a legendary coach over here at South Doyle. A lot of pride, south of the river, like real big. And to my knowledge, I don't think he's ever pulled a championship off here. What do you think you have to do to get South Doyle in contentions to win one, coach?
Yeah, I mean, the reality is a lot of things have to work to win championships. You've got to have the structure in place, good coaching, discipline, accountability. But let's be real, you got to have dogs too.
Yeah.
You ain't winning championships without dogs. Right now, we're in the place, because when I first got the job, so many people said, we had Elijah Young, and we had this guy, and we had that guy, and we had that guy, and we got to the semis, and the team structure wasn't there to win a championship, or this happened, and we got to the quarterfinals, that was our best team, we got beat by a team we shouldn't have gotten beat. And all these stories were told to me, and what I kind of gathered was, man, South Knoxville's gonna have dudes come through. Like right now, we're on a little bit of a down spell right now, and that's how high school football is. What I want to make sure is we're not trying to build championship teams, we're trying to build a championship program, so that when that group, and we got a special freshman class now, freshman sophomore group, when that group comes together, I want to make sure I've done my part to build them up so that they don't have those same stories 4 years from now and they say we should have done this, but we couldn't do this because of that, right? So I think it's just putting the structure in place. You got to get the dudes in here and make sure you keep them in here with the world that we live in now. You know what I mean? And I think we do a good job of coaching these kids up, making them love the game, and we just got to put those things. It's a slow process to build a championship program, but I'm in it for the long haul, so I'm cool with it being slow. Like I really am. This is not a job that I'm trying to like bounce to another one. You know what I mean?
Because I mean, if you look at you in the region who was known, you know, when this region has a good team, they known to get to the show. So you got Shelton, Harrison County won a national, so you know you're in a pretty good area.
They're probably the top toughest teams to beat to you know advance. And
then you know if you don't make it, if you make it out of this region, the team that always wins the championship, it's either Anderson County, Greenville, or Elizabeth, right? So that's who we're I'm not in. I think I want to make sure I'm very clear on this. We talking to our kids about this. 1-7 or 7-1. Like I'm not here to build a 500 program. I'm not cool with it. I'm here to compete with the Anderson counties because I think we can. And the Greenvilles and the Fultons, but it's going to take some time, man, to make sure that's established.
And like you said, times do change. I played over at Fulton at its peak, and to look at it now, it's kind of like it's sad. You know what I mean? It's saddening for a guy that been up there, won championships, and to look at it now like, you know, people kind of mark Fulton as a win on the schedule now, you know, as opposed to when I played, they didn't even want to put us on the
I
schedule.
coached against some of the Fulton teams.
Yeah.
I didn't want to play them. I know
Yeah,
that
for sure. So it's definitely up and down around here for sure.
Yep.
You know, this week you got Seymour coming up Friday night. How you feel your team preparation been so far leading up to the game Friday?
Good to have a bye week. Good to get healthy. They had a couple guys got banged up after the Halls game, after the Fulton game, and so good to get healthy. Always good to have a bye. Just kind of relax a little bit. We had 3 good days of practice, honestly, last week over fall break, which that's the stuff that a lot of the people don't see.
Right.
Like used to, they had a 60% clip or 50% clip over fall break. We were 100%.
Right.
Like our guys were at practice. So great week of preparation last week. I like our game plan. I think you know, the biggest challenge is going to be making sure we're playing discipline with a triple defensively. If we can play discipline and guys don't feel like they have to do more than they need to do, they just do their job. They're going to give us some opportunities to attack grass offensively. We got a good quarterback. We got weapons on the outside. We can get it to the grass. So as long as we kind of make our layups, hopefully the weather doesn't get nasty, because that can equalize this thing real quick for us, because we like to air this thing out. But it's about stopping the triple. But I mean, so far the 4 days of prep that we've had have been really, really good, and our guys are, man, credit to them. In a bad season, they are still coming to work.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. That's what you want out of the kids. I'm looking at your schedule, Coach, and I see 5 games on here that could have went you guys' way. Got Lenore City, lost by 3. Heritage, lost by 10. Austin East was a win by 3. You got Central on here, which was a loss by 10, and Fulton is a loss by 8. What have you and the guys learned from those losses, and what are you going to apply moving forward these last 2 games?
Yeah, the positive is that nobody bailed on each other. Last year, adversity would hit, and man, you talk about blowing up. Like our sideline demeanor was not great. Our guys through all of those close games have started to learn, like we kind of come in at halftime, but we know it's going to be a 1-possession game. Like no matter who it is, we just know, hey guys, is there any doubt? Like, did you have any doubt? And we just kind of laugh. Like we just expect that. We kind of, now we've dealt with the adversity. Now the hardest thing is winners know how to win, and losing teams find a way to lose. And that's how it is in all sports and at all levels. Those teams you were on at Fulton, there were a lot of times you probably didn't deserve it, but you found a way to win, right? You know what I'm saying? And there are certain times where you don't deserve to lose, but you find a way to lose. We're on the cusp. We're right on that ledge of being like, when we find a way to win, it's going to be hard to stop. We just have not found that yet. We saw it a little bit, you know, Heritage, we have the ball down 3 at the -25, and we end up turning it over. The next week on the same hash at the -25 with 40 seconds to go versus Austin East, we go score. So like it's just finding ways to create and manufacture kids learning how to win, man. Because if you learn how to win, you just don't forget how to win. You know, you find a way to do it.
Sure do, Coach.
You know, you talked about you had a good freshman and sophomore class that you feel like you can build from. Tell us about some of them kids.
Yeah, I'll start with kind of and honestly, we got a lot of guys, but the sophomore class, you got DeMorris McKenzie, outside linebacker, running back cat. He's a guy that his freshman year transitioned to football in high school. He had always been the dog, the dude in 8th grade, and got to freshman year, and he was like, okay, hold up, this high school. He's slowly coming out of that. He's starting to doing a really good job at running back. I'll be honest with you about DeMorris, and I've told him this. He loves toting the rock. I think his next level is outside linebacker. I think he's an outside linebacker in reality, but he's a good football player. We got some dudes that are completely under the radar that no one's going to know about, but we got Kevin Ifill, who's a safety, a kid that was really underrated coming out of 8th grade, and he's a pretty good one. Trey Lane's a corner that's really, and a sophomore that's really good is Trayshawn Berry. He's our right tackle. He's starting as a right tackle, big joker, really matured. You talk about sweet feet. He's an offensive lineman at the next level, very athletic. And then that freshman class is the one that probably I had a lot of success in 8th and 7th grade. The one in the MAC league that a lot of kids knew, or a lot of people know. Reed Reynolds, Jeremiah Smith, Benson Brain, a number of kids. Or just Lincoln Jackson was on the Tennessee All-Stars for that deal. So we just have a number of those kids that's the crew that knows how to win.
Yeah.
They find a way, and our JV crew is going to be a 6-3. You know what I mean? So that's the crew that knows how to win. So it'll be they're talented, but they're also very structured, and they know what it takes to do those things. So really good kids too. They're not bad kids. They're not dealing with any drama with those kids. Those are great kids.
That's awesome. Yeah, I had an actual chance to coach the Morris McKenzie. I coached him since he was 6.
Yeah.
All the way up to, I want to say 12 or 13. So he's really like a stepson of mine, if you want to kind of put it that way. So I kind of keep up with him and what he's doing and stuff like that. And then Kevin, I had a chance to coach him as well. So I'm rooting for you guys. And Jeremiah Smith played on our 7 and 7 team. So yeah, we definitely rooting for those guys and wish them success, nothing but success going forward in the future.
The coolest thing to see about all those guys you just named, like specifically the sophomore class, like Kevin and DeMorris, they are becoming men too. You know, like to see their maturity level, man, that's the reason I wanted to come from college to high school. Like to see those dudes, because they're going to be great men too.
Sure.
It fires me up.
For sure. And DeMorris actually kind of played, I want to say, offensive line and helped out at defensive end a lot, all the way up to when I say 11 years old. So when I finally gave him a chance to run the ball, he did great and he loved it. So I can kind of see why he want to still take that ball.
He still does. He's our guy right now.
But his body frame is a nice outside linebacker for sure.
You know, you touched on the MAC League. How important is it for you to be involved in the MAC League in the youth to build the program back where you feel like you need to get it?
Yeah, I mean it's you have to. Like there is non-negotiable.
Right.
You know, it's a non-negotiable.
My question is really, do you have your hand on the MAC program?
No doubt. And we're going to continue to have more of our hands on the MAC program and the youth league. We got some good dudes down there that are not fathers who are sacrificing their time. And it's hard to find dudes that are willing to coach at the youth level that aren't dads. And so we got some good dudes down there. Really, phase 1 of this program was we got to stabilize the high school. We got to stabilize and make sure. And honestly, I mean, the reality is my number one goal coming into this offseason was to deliver the 8th graders to the 9th grade to make sure we get our guys. Like that was a super talent. Now phase 2 is getting down there and really, now we've clinicked with those groups, but getting the right people plugged in and getting, continue to just build the structure and be a resource for them. But I'm not gonna lie, like I never missed a MAC League game.
That's awesome, bro.
Like, and I've got to get more at the youth league too, but my wife probably thinks otherwise. But it's a non-negotiable. You know what I mean? And honestly, I say for the long haul, and we've talked about this at a booster club and as a staff. My number one goal, and people make me think I'm crazy, but 10 years from now, because my daughters go to school in South Knoxville, 10 years from now, I want people around the county to say, hey, like my kid. Maybe this youth league ain't doing the right thing. Like I'm sending my kids to South Knoxville. The same way that people say about Alcoa and Maryville or whatever. I want parents to be like, hey, they got it together in South Knoxville. And so like that's a vision. That's a phase that we're trying to work through.
Yeah, I mean, I think I should. I mean, I see a lot more coaches, and MAC ain't been around long enough to, so past coaches didn't have, but I'm starting to see more coaches, more high school coaches involved with the MAC League. And building their team that way.
Gotcha.
I mean, I know Extra County, they do a wonderful job with their little league and 707, and they got programs.
It's a machine.
Yeah.
It's a machine.
No matter who they plug in, they like I tell everybody, whether they're down or up, lots of players, you're gonna get involved in when you play Extra County. So.
sir. Yes, sir. Coach, you know, nowadays as well too, you gotta compete with transfer portal. Kids want to go where they want. Kids want to team up. Kids want to win. It's hard to find kids nowadays, in my eyes, that want to go to a place and kind of rebuild. What do you think kind of about the transfer portal, Coach?
Yeah, man. The toughest thing is what you just said. Like, you want to create an environment, and you really hope that you have parents that are loyal to the cause to say, you know what, like, play with your boys.
Yeah.
Like, play with your boys, play for your community.
Yeah.
Idealistic, man. I'm old, I'm old school. That's how the way it is. You know what I mean? I'm also not blind to the fact that I know the deal. Like, I know what you just said. Like, kids want to go to certain places for a lot of reasons. And I think a lot of times, I think the thing that frustrates me the most, because I coach at the next level, you play at the next level, you know what I'm saying? Like, the reality, especially in the world of huddle, is a lot of kids are fed lies by people of like, well, you can't get recruited if you go there.
Right.
The reality is, like, if you go to Fulton and you're a dog, you can get recruited. If you go to Austin East and you're a dog, you go to Bearden, you're a dog, you go to Catholic or South Doyle, you're a dog. You see them all over the place, right? And I think my biggest thing is I just hate seeing kids get lies told to them. If a kid wants to transfer, there's a lot of good reasons for that. And I think the only thing I can control, because there could be a lot of sleepless nights for a head football coach sitting around worried about that stuff, right? I think the biggest thing that we try to talk about at our staff is like, we got to develop kids. And that's one thing we're going to continue to try to work on and develop kids. We play a really fun style of offense and defense. The offense and defense that we play in, the special teams we play in, is the same offense and defense that we play at UC Davis in Division I.
Yes, sir.
Like, the stuff that they're getting taught, our quarterback, that's Division I protection, Division I concepts. And so that's what we try to sell our kids, and then we treat our kids well.
Yeah.
Like, we hold them accountable, but we ain't dog cussing kids, we ain't belittling them, we're telling the truth. And the hope is, hey, if a kid transfers and you've done your best by him, at the end of the day,
No sleep.
it is what it is. You don't want to lose a soul,
Yep.
but you can't lose your sleep over one. When you got 75, you got to really love and coach up. So,
How do you feel about the decision making? Do you think it's a parent decision, or do you think it's a kid decision on where he should play?
hey, listen, I think any kid, myself included, I think I was on a podcast in this same room, had the same question asked. There's not a 14 to 18-year-old kid that doesn't want to be coveted and loved. If someone came up to Paul Shelton when I was in high school in Cupp County, if Jefferson County would have come up and said, hey, you're good enough, come to Jeff County, I'd be like, hey, Dad, you know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Like every kid wants to feel like they're good enough to go wherever they want. That's what 14 to 18-year-old men, that's how we act. We're boys, right? That's how. The thing that you really hope is parents are giving sound advice. Like, at the end of the day, like, you just hope that the guiding light of the father or the mother, the grandmother, aunt or uncle are giving great wisdom and great advice, and they're not. A lot of times, that's where a lot of these people will try to get their claws into, and it's tough. I see a lot of guys struggle, and that's with the recruiting process too. A lot of people get really bad advice, and that's what we try to provide really good advice to our guys, because I know they're not getting it all the time from every house. So.
I definitely want to ask that question because I got a senior over at Catholic, and the decision, since he's been 7 was we're going to Fulton High School. Well, it kind of changed at the last minute, and we ended up at Catholic. Well, Catholic's not been doing as well on the winning side. Everything else been pretty good over there. So we had discussions of leaving this year, and I left it up to him. I felt like God and me made the decision to get you to Catholic, and I let him make the decision. So I definitely want to ask you that question: is kids or parents?
It's a tough decision. I mean, you look anyway. We talked to Coach Keith earlier this season. He felt like a kid should get 2 moves in high school. Like 8th grade when you're freshman, and then as an upperclassman when you then see the landscape develop and you smarter and all that type of situation. I mean, it's tricky, and, you know.
It definitely is.
Yeah, and honestly, like, whatever they legislate, like, I mean, the reality is, I think they're going to end up opening a transfer portal, just like they do in college. That's what they're going to do. I don't know what it's going to look like, but however they legislate, people are going to get around it.
Yeah.
One way or the other, you know, and that's why I say it comes back to the home. Like, I just think sound advice, because there are some things, like, I know that I've got my kids, there are certain things of, like, and I'm sure you said this to your son, like, there may be some struggles. Struggle ain't bad now. You know what I mean? Struggle ain't bad. Learn to struggle well. I think that's a good thing, because you're going to be a better dad that way. You're going to be a better husband that way. So there's something to be said about struggling a little bit and doing it the right way.
So Coach, we ain't gonna hold you too much longer. You know, you got Seymour this week. Do y'all still have an outside shot to make the playoffs? Y'all win out, or y'all pretty?
Yeah, we're in if you win the next two games. They're both region games. You know, we're focused on Seymour, but I mean, for the podcast, we got Anderson County. That's a monster at the end of that thing, and we know that. But yeah, you win two. You're in the playoffs, and you beat Anderson County now. Then you can beat anybody in the playoffs. So it is what it is. So.
You know, even though I thought they had a tough schedule early season, but I mean, down the stretch, they probably one of the best.
That's right.
4A teams competing for it. I know Greenville's tough again. I ain't heard much about Elizabeth this year, but I'm sure they always got a part at the same.
Your first year coming in South Doyle, was your schedule already set, or did you have part in getting?
No, the first year was the second year of the cycle. So the first year we had Oak Ridge, Bearden, Farragut, a bunch of the 6A deals, and you know, kind of a down cycle on the talent. It was a tough one. So I was able to make the schedule this year and get us back to more of a 4A level and kind of settle us up. But we still have 5A opponents. We got Lenore City's doing okay, and Halls. Heck, man, we got Halls on the schedule, and Halls is rolling right now. So Central's still there. So.
The schedules change again, in another year?
Yeah, so
we'll play this schedule again, and
Coach, you got anything else, Coach?
That's about it, Coach.
Nice
to meet you, Coach.
Good to meet you. Appreciate you coming on the show, man.
Anytime.
Appreciate your time, man.
Yeah.
Because we know high school coaches, man, and time is valuable. You got an army of kids to worry about, so we appreciate you coming on the show. We appreciate you watching as well.
Anytime, man. Always, I'm a fan, dude. You know this.
I appreciate it.
Tell my boy Snyder I said what's up.
We'll do it.
What he coach out here?
He's wide receiver coach. Wide receiver, getting dudes right.
So now we rooting for you, Coach. We rooting for you. And the old saying is, you can't be a Roman one day, Coach. So keep it going. You seem like a great man for the job, Coach. So I'm definitely rooting for the South Door Cherokees, man. In the lab,
Coach Rock,
Coach O.
All right, next week we out.
Y'all know what time it is. You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and O. East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this podcast. And stay tuned in each week. But enough of this. Let's get it.
Welcome to In the Lab.
I'm Coach Rock.
Coach O.
We're here today with
Maddox, Cupp, quarterback, South Doyle.
Jaedyn, Begovich, O-line and D-line.
we're here with South Doyle today. What's going on with y'all?
What's up, fellas?
Appreciate you
Appreciate
coming
you
on
on
the
the
show.
show.
Yes, sir.
Hey Maddox, I know ideally, sitting at 1-7, probably not where you thought y'all would be at, but how y'all feel about the season so far?
What a lot of people don't see is we've had a lot of growth from year 1 to year 2 in the coach, and we got a lot of dudes bought in. We got a really tight locker room, so there's a lot of good coming out of this season. And I know that Coach Shelton, the wins will start coming for him in the coming years.
What about you?
Yeah, same what he said. Like, we're not winning, but we continue to grow each week.
I looked at y'all record. You had 3 or 4 close losses. Where I believe y'all was winning at halftime going in. This week I got Seymour. Right? How y'all feel about your preparation this week leading up to Seymour?
We had a great practice today. Everybody's bought in. It's a rivalry game. Everybody wants to play Seymour every year, so everybody's fired up, ready to go.
Yes, sir. basically what Maddox said, just do the little things right, and we should be good.
Right. Okay.
Like Coach said, the season ain't really going the way you guys expected. Both of you guys are seniors, correct?
Yes, sir.
What do you think the last 2 games you guys can do just to motivate some of the younger guys you got on the team to let's finish strong? Because sometimes it ain't always how you start, it's how you finish.
Yes, sir. I mean, we just gotta keep doing it the right way. We got a really great senior class that does it the right way in the classroom, in the weight room, in here in the locker room, out there on the field. So we gotta keep setting the example, and then we'll get back on the right track.
Yes, sir. What about you?
Yeah, basically just setting an example. I mean, if we win these next 2 games, we can be in the playoffs. So just keep grinding.
Yeah, so, sometimes it might be a rough start, but if you finish strong, you never know. Like you said, y'all might wind up in the playoffs and be able to do some damage. We 8 games in so far. You guys are 7-1. Name some of the younger guys that's been stepping up for you guys this season that you feel like gonna be a name to watch going forward.
Yes, sir. We have a whole lot of talented freshmen. Like we got Reed Reynolds. He should not be playing the way he is at his age. He's so far ahead of dudes his age. We got Jeremiah Smith, which is a dynamic athlete.
Yeah, I know Jeremiah. Shout out to Jeremiah.
Those 2 dudes, they're gonna do some big things here.
Mm-hmm. You think it's some young guys?
Same as him.
Yeah, young guys. So definitely keep a lookout for them guys for sure.
Hey, shout out Benny QB.
On the side of, I looked at the stats. I think you're sitting at probably 42 tackles right now. Had quite a few tackles for loss. Being one of the leaders on defense, how you feeling? How do you do defensively to come out with a win Friday night?
Just do our job. They run a triple option, so just everybody be in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, the triple option tough. If you're one bad read, man, it can be a home run anytime. Offensive line, you're sitting about 2,000 yards right now, like 18 touchdowns, I believe. Tell us about. I know you talked about some of the guys, but some of the receivers you got. I know you got. I can't remember the kid now. I know you got 6'4", 6'5".
Yeah, TJ.
Yeah, big talk. Tell us about some of the weapons you got, and then I know you got the running back, Mr. Gray, who can do it all for y'all.
Yeah, we got TJ. He's a really great red zone threat. He's a jump ball guy, and he's really improved. Last year was his first year of playing football, so he just had natural hands, and then he's really worked on his route running in the off season.
Right.
He's gotten a little faster, so he's having a great year. And we got Detroit Patterson in the slot, and he's just dynamic, man. He finds a way to get open every play, and he's always catching the ball. He's doing something with the ball. So we throw him a hitch, he'll take it for 90 yards, but hey, my stats. And then we got Rolando Phillips. He's not really having the year he wanted stats-wise, but he's a serviceable guy. He's always doing the right thing. He's blocking downfield, so yeah. Got a lot of guys.
So them guys you name, are they seniors as well, or the guys gonna be coming back next year?
TJ in Detroit will be back next year,
Okay.
and then Rolando's a senior.
All right. Yes, okay.
Yeah, how you guys had a chance to, if I'm not mistaken, were you guys there when Elijah Young was there?
No, we were here before. The year after, but
Okay.
we were at every game.
Yeah, man. So, South Doyle, it's been kind of up and down since I graduated. I graduated at Ford High School, and it's kind of been up and down since I left. But I want to say maybe 4 or 5 years ago, 6 at top, and South Doyle was loading up to potentially have some of those squads to make a run for a championship. I think after Elijah left, it was Gray, right? Or Sean Gurry. So y'all got to actually play with him as well.
Yes, sir.
How does he compare to his younger brother that y'all starting running back this year?
Tayshawn is dynamic. He's a great athlete overall.
Mhm.
I mean, he'll make some dudes miss, and I'll hand the ball, I'll see him make a play. I'm like, that's just Tayshawn. Like, you gotta just wow.
What grade is he in?
He's my grade.
Senior as well. Okay. Is it what do you got to take on Sean versus his brother?
Basically, it's almost the same player.
Yeah.
Like, they both just got great vision,
Mm-hmm.
fast, strong.
Mm-hmm.
They gonna find a way to score.
They're rocking the same number as well, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what's up. That's
You
what's
know,
up.
y'all being seniors, y'all was here with the last coach for 2 years, and then you've been with this coach for 2 years.
Yeah.
Carl.
What have you seen in the difference in the coaching and where the program trying to go and try to get back to where y'all competing for making a deep push in the playoffs?
I mean, from what I've seen, I mean, the only take I can really have is like offensively, it's just a different mindset. Like he was real run heavy and you know, run the ball two, throw the ball. We're kind of throw the ball two, run the ball.
Gotcha.
You gotta get some guys outside the box so we can hand it off and gas them. So that's my take offensively. Like being a head coach, I was like, Coach Shelton is more about the little things. Like you gotta have good grades to play here. You gotta come to school to play here. You gotta be in practice to play here. And under Coach Duncan, I mean, obviously you gotta be here to play here, but like it wasn't as harsh. It wasn't as strict. That's what I say about that.
I think it's more of a team because like I'm not saying that it wasn't a team with Coach Duncan. It's just he had like great athletes and like we don't have that right now.
Yeah.
But like we try to work as a team more and more.
Okay. And the being with the new quarterback, I've been a quarterback. I'm assuming you like to do offense more.
Oh yeah, I love it. I love it. It's fun. It's a lot of fun.
You throwing it what, about 24 times a game, something like that?
I mean, the highest touch this year was 42, and then it probably averaged about 35.
A lot of ice baths, ice on the shoulder after Friday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big difference coming from a run offense. I think last year you do for 732 yards, and it's 2 games left, and you already got 2,000 yards. So it's a big difference.
Was that one of your goals coming into the season? Like 2,000? Like what were some of your individual goals coming into the season?
I definitely have my mindset on like 2,000, 2,500. The record here is actually like 2,400, so I've really been wanting to break the record. And then touchdowns wise, I wanted actually rushing yards. I wanted like 1,000, but I ain't trying to be run. But it's good. But touchdowns wise, you know, I mean,
You got 68 yards rushing. That ain't bad enough.
hey, it used to be the nigga.
But it got sacks too, probably. So
Yeah, it counts sacks in high school,
For
sadly.
sure, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I'm
we
sorry.
got to go 100. We got to at least get 40 this week, man.
You said you want to get 2,400, so you got 2 games to go for 400.
Yeah. But we got
It's definitely attainable to that.
Yeah, but we got to at least get over 100 yard rushing. You got to at least get 40. Come on, man.
And you got a shot to still make the playoffs as well. So
Yes, sir.
What about you? Did you have any? What were your goals coming into the season? Like this individual goals?
I say was not to go with the sack. I don't know if I go with the sack. 60 tackles, 10 sacks.
So you right about what 40, 42, 45, I guess.
yeah, you right on pace. Cause
Yeah.
I keep up. I play defensive line as well, and my son played at Catholic. So the last 2 years he's been all region, around about 60 some tackles a year. So if I'm not mistaken, around 42 tackles. That's probably 5.3 some tackles a game. So that's pretty good. He at 40 right now as well, and we trying to hit his average of 60 as well. So he got to go out and basically either put up 10-10 the last 2 games, or
yeah, playoffs too, though. So.
yeah, but you know playoffs as well too. So you know it's always a booster to your stats as well. So, yeah, how many sacks you got this year?
I think 2, maybe 3.
2, maybe 3. Yeah, yes sir.
You like playing both ways?
Yes, sir.
You know, we talked to a lot of schools and players all year. A lot of schools they play in one way. A lot of teams they play in both ways. So I always want to play both ways.
I always wanted to too, but you know, I think it's situational.
Yeah.
You know, if y'all watch college football, y'all seen Travis Hunter score 2 touchdowns and go for 130 yards on offense, but he also gave up.
He was definitely
Yeah, he was kind of gassed on defense, so you know, it's kind of pick your boys, it's situational type thing. But I do feel like if you're an athlete and you can play both sides, you know, why not? Is there any goals that you guys, well, coach already kind of said that, but
how recruiting going for both of y'all? You got any list of y'all looking to play in the next level?
Yeah, I definitely want to play. I mean, there's a lot of interest, like, you know, some smaller stuff like D3, NAIA, like a couple of D2s. But I mean, just before this, I was talking to Coach Shelton. I mean, based off the conversation we just had, I might try to walk on D1 and then just kind of work my way up. So.
Hey, nothing wrong with that, man.
Sure.
No, I'm a Florida State guy. We had a running back last year, 2 years ago, Trayshawn Ward, he walked on and ended up getting a scholarship before the camp was up.
Yes, sir.
And ended up like playing. He now I think he transferred to Kansas State. He started at Kansas State there. So, what about you?
Same as Maddox. We just got to talk about it. I want to play D1.
I mean,
Yeah, that's everybody, you know, everybody
I got a lot of kids like
expectations
this
to
ask
play
me
D1.
for advice, ask me since I be like, it's cool to play D1, but at the same time, like, if you get your school paid for it, and play, have fun,
And get a good education.
you know what I'm saying? Like, if I can go, even if it's D2, D3, and I can go play and like play 4 more years and get my school paid for it, then why not? You know what I mean? And then like with the portal, you always, you have a good year.
Ball out.
Shit always skip up a
Ball
little.
out. I've been kind of keeping an eye on the All-Star games as well. Like I said, my son's a senior. He just got invited to the All-Star game that they do. Mark Packer, shout out to Mark Packer and them. And I've been kind of keeping a close eye on the guys who's been getting invites, man. And I don't think they got a quarterback in that class, man. Like in the city of Knoxville, you start naming off the teams and senior quarterbacks. I don't think it's a lot. I think it's you, Dexter from Fulton. It ain't too many senior quarterbacks. So, are you expecting to get an invite to that game?
I mean,
You're
hey, I would love to.
Put him on the list, Mark Packer, man. What's up?
Packer, let's go, baby.
Put him on the list. Let's go. Let's get it.
Hey, I would love to go play in that game. It'd be a lot of fun, but no invite yet.
I've been watching, man. They've been loading up on the defensive side. They picked up my son.
That's what I'm saying. They got, I don't know, Soul Committee. I don't think so.
I don't know if he will. Just because
he
big time.
But it's your son. I'm sure Nico probably get everybody.
Yeah, I seen the CJ Smith kid from West, Keelan Smith from Catholic.
What would you rather play on the invite? If you get the invite, you rather be on the offensive side or you rather be on the defensive side?
I got the invite for defense.
You got on the defensive side? You already got it.
That's what I'm talking about. So that's what I'm saying. From the looks of it, the Knoxville side of things are loading up on the defensive side, but the county got
They got the quarterback.
Keith, they got Keith and Isaiah Howard. But loading up with guys of that caliber, you're gonna be running for your life all night.
You know where the game at?
Beardner.
Is that Beardner? Okay, I know
It was at Oak last year.
Yeah, that's what's up. We definitely gonna be in the building today.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, we ain't gonna hold y'all too long. Friday night, we asked all the kids this Friday night. School over with. How you get ready for the game? What's your preparation for the game?
I just like to be with my team, man. Just come here. I don't really put my headphones in like a lot of guys do. I try to be with the team. We go eat team meal, get a good meal in, then come back, get ready for the game, get ready to go.
What about you?
Team meal, at least 2 chicken sandwiches. At least 2 chicken sandwiches.
Pretty.
Chill with my headphones on, listen to music.
What you listen to?
Young Boy, Broadway, Lil Baby.
Everybody.
You can't go wrong with it.
Everybody.
You can't go wrong with it.
You got more questions, Coach?
Yeah, I'm gonna end it with this for him, Coach. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. One, who would you kind of compare yourself to in the NFL, quarterback wise?
Okay.
And what's your favorite team?
I feel like Brock Purdy.
Mm-hmm.
He's talented, but he
slept on.
He's really committed to the system.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I feel like I stand.
Okay.
Sure.
I can see that.
What's your favorite team?
Titans.
Titans. Tighten up, guys.
What about you?
What about you? Favorite player that's kind of similar to how you think you play, and favorite team?
Man, I think I play like. I don't gotta answer that question.
Yeah.
Okay. Who's your favorite player?
My favorite player? Probably Michael Parsons.
Okay.
You're a monster. What about your favorite team?
I don't got one.
You don't got one? That's what's up. That's what's up.
Well, sure, man. We ain't gonna hold y'all. Appreciate y'all coming, man.
Sure.
Hey, man. Good luck Friday night.
Good luck Friday, too. Good luck Friday, too.
In the lab.
Go beat the Eagles. Coach up.
Till next week, we out.
Y'all know what time it is. You just tuned in the lab with Coach Rock and O. East Tennessee High School Sports Podcast. Bringing you all the exclusive interviews with some of the hottest players coming out of high school and the coaches from around the country here. Make sure you like and share this